Welcome folks, today I want to talk about a Ultrafire flashlight. Now, Ultrafire, is it ultra cool or just a ultra fail? We shall see. Well, a few words on Ultrafire. Ultrafire is a very famous Chinese flashlight manufacturer. Famous in more than one sense. For once, they were probably the first ones to produce those high-powered LED flashlights that we all appreciate so much today. You know, those flashlights with Cree LEDs and other types of high-powered LEDs. And they offer a wide variety of different flashlights. Now, the build quality was not always there. It's always kind of questionable. You get an Ultrafire, will it actually power up or not? I actually had a slight problem with this one as well, but I got it handled. Now, Ultrafire is a little bit infamous also because of the 18650 cells that are sold under the label Ultrafire, and at least in the earlier days, they tended to be very unreliable or outright dangerous. At least the capacity claims, they were almost always wrong. But I decided to give Ultrafire another chance, and when I saw this light online for 16 euros, I had to get it. And there are a few reasons for that. Since a long time, I'm looking for ultra robust flashlights. Flashlights that really can take any kind of abuse. And flashlights that I can also take, for example, if I'm outdoors and I would take them snorkeling because I decide on snorkeling on the spot and don't have my dive light with me. Well, I would look for a flashlight that actually can take this kind of stress and is really 100% waterproof. I'm very much about waterproofing of my flashlights. Good waterproofing is for me an absolute must. Now, this light comes with an outstanding build quality. Now, the build quality is not outstanding in the details. The edges are kind of sharp. There are a little problems. It looks good, but it's not top-notch standard, like even from what you would be used from budget labels like Sofern or Thorfire. This is a little bit inferior. But it's a grippy light and it immediately feels very solid. Now, when you go into the details, you see why this light is kind of special. Look at the battery tube. Here you have double O-rings. I like double O-rings. Thick walls, very thick walls actually. Makes it much bigger than your average 18650 flashlight and a little bit heavier. Now look at that. You open it up and nothing falls out. No reflector falls out, no glass lands, no nothing. The reflector is screwed onto the pill with the LED and the driver. So if you want to mod your LED or your driver, you just remove this pill and you have easy access. Now, I always prefer the shelf design because it's for better heat dissipation, but a pill well done is fine too. And this is not an extremely high powered flashlight. It's in the 800 lumens range, I guess. Now again, you see the thick walls, you see the double O-rings, you see the orange peel reflector, solid aluminum. It all feels very good, very high quality, very robust. And I love the fact that the glass lens doesn't fall out. Why is that the case? Because the glass lens in there sits on a shelf. There's a little shelf, so that is part of the head. Then there is an O-ring, and then the glass lens is pressed against this O-ring by a stainless steel ring. This is a very safe way of waterproofing your front glass. Very often, many flashlights, this is a weak spot. Now this cheap $16 Ultrafire light does not have the weak spot. Actually, it is waterproof to a degree that you probably could almost take it as a dive light, but at least you can take it snorkeling. Almost as a dive light, because this of course could be a weak point, depending. The switch, those switches you wouldn't want for diving. You want a magnetic switch or something like that. That is really 100% waterproof if you go deep down. But with snorkeling, you don't go deep down. I mean, at the most, maybe 7 or 10 meters for a minute. I can't hold my breath much longer. But I love those double O-rings. Those are O-rings of good quality. The threads run smoothly. Everything feels really good. Now, of course, this flashlight doesn't have mode memory, and I guess the output is not regulated either. It probably doesn't have a low voltage warning or something like that. Yeah, you have 5 modes. It always starts in high mode after a few minutes, mid mode, low mode, not ultra low mode, just a low mode. Then an annoying strobe and SOS mode. And if you leave it off for a minute or for at least a few seconds, it comes on again in high mode, which is okay for this type of light. But of course, I would prefer mode memory. And so the electronics and the user interface, it's a little bit old style, let's put it that way, but it still works. It's fine. Now I'll do a runtime test on this flashlight, and we'll see if it has any kind of low voltage protection. If it doesn't have low voltage protection, then that means basically you should only use it with protected cells. So a protected cell would turn itself off if the voltage drops too low. And this way the battery chemistry is protected. Because if you drain lithium ions too much, then they actually get damaged. It can become even dangerous. Now the beam is, you have a hotspot and you have a usable spill. It's an orange peel reflector. Orange peel reflector typically gives you a very comfortable light, very soft hotspot and a lot of usable light around it. You don't have a maximum throw with that kind of light. Anyways, I'll do a runtime test. I'll see how the heat dissipation works. I don't expect it to generate too much heat because it's really just like 700 or 800 lumens cold white, but it would be an excellent modding host as well, so you can exchange the LEDs and the drivers if you want to do that. So let's see how it performs in terms of runtime and whether there is really no electronics that protects the battery.